Hey guys, this is Chris here with OC Detailing here in Lumberton, North Carolina. I'm just going to be showing you today how to be installing CCC Next Gen PPF on a new C8 Z06 Corvette. So we've already done the full front and the doors and the fender on the opposite side of the car. So I figured this would be a good time to make a video about how to do a rear fender. So join me on this quick adventure of how to install PPF on a C8 Corvette. Okay guys, before we put the film on the car, we have to prep the panel. So this car was previously ceramic coated, so it's very important that you remove any ceramic coating. You can do that usually by buffing the paint with a polish or a compound, and that is going to remove the coating and remove any hydrophobic properties. If you put PPF on top of a ceramic coated vehicle, there's a high chance that the PPF won't stick and it's going to come off sooner or later. So first things first, we've already buffed off the paint. So we're just going to spray our solution and we're just going to squeegee any dust and lint off the car. We're just going to start at the top and we're going to work our way down. After every squeegee stroke, you will notice I'm wiping the edge to get any dirt or lint off of it. I'm doing an overlap, about 50-50 overlap every time I do a squeegee stroke. I know a lot of detailers are probably like, oh no man, you're scratching the paint with that squeegee. I'm not. I promise I'm not. I'll bet $100 I'm not. But if I am, I promise you $1,000 that everything's going to be hid. Then we put the PPF on. PPF across all brands will hide a lot of light marks and even oxidation sometimes. So it's a very cool attribute that PPF has. So we just used the blue squeegees from CCC Next Gen to do a very detailed squeegee of the car. So I'm about ready to put the PPF on it. So I'm going to take my big squeegee here and I'm going to go ahead and get the bulk of anything residual off the paint. It's ready for PPF. So we're going to go ahead and spray our slip solution on the vehicle. You don't really need a whole lot, just enough to have even, thorough coverage with no dry spots. And what this is also going to do is prevent dust from trying to stick on it from like static electricity. So the slip solution will kill that. So let's get the film on the car. Okay guys, so I do have the benefit of having employees that could help me do this, put the PPF on the car, but I want to show you that you can do it if you're a one-man show. So this is a 36-inch roll of PPF that I have already measured out the length of the panel. I've already sprayed my slip solution on it on the table and rolled it up just like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to come here, I'm going to lift the backing liner, the backing sheet, and I cut about 6 feet, which should be more than enough to do this panel. I'm just kind of reverse rolling it onto the car. I'll also mention in some of our other videos, you will notice that we like to use patterns. But today I feel a little adventurous and we're going to do a custom bulk install on this Corvette. So it's in position now. That looks good. We got coverage of the full panel here of the rear fender. So really at this point we just need to lock it down. I'm going to spray my slip solution on the surface of the PPF so the squeegee can glide. And you really just need to kind of find your attack points and everything. I think I'm going to go ahead and squeegee a lot of this right here. So I'm going to start on this body line. The film will tell you where it wants to go. If you didn't know, PPF talks. It'll talk to you. It'll tell you what it likes. It'll tell you what it doesn't like. This here is my tack solution. It's just plain water. Hot water I'll add straight from the tap. I'm just spraying it right here on the ends just so this little air bubble will go ahead and lock down. You see how it just laid down? Excelente. Perfect. So let's talk about reading the film a little bit. So we have a couple tiny fingers right here, and we got this curve in the panel here. A few fingers here. Some of this is because we got all this excess. So what I'm going to end up doing is pulling the film this way to pull these fingers out. But first, before I do that, I'm going to cut some of this excess film off of it. I'm just going to come in here and cut about 1.5 inches, 2 inches off the panel. I think I need a new blade here and get that off. So whenever I take this PPF and I pull it that way to get these fingers out that are on the top ridge here, it's going to create a little bit of a pull and tension right here. So you want to relieve this tension by making relief cuts. So I'm going to start with just making a few straight cuts. And you see the film kind of wants to relax. Be careful, don't leave this whenever you go to pull, because whenever you start pulling, this is going to do this number right here. See how it's ripping? So what you want to do is you kind of want to make a U shape. Make a U shape or a half moon, half circle, whatever you want to call it. And that will solve that problem from happening. Boom. So that's really all that we need to relieve the tension. Okay guys, so we're going to gently pull the film towards me or the rear of the car to take out these little fingers that are up here on that top ridge. I'm going to pull it just like that and it's gone. So what I'm going to do now, because I want to keep that tension and keep the fingers out, I'm going to tack it back here on this back bumper right here so it doesn't move. So it's tacked, and now we have all this right here to play with. All this right here is going to lay down perfect and pretty. Now let's just squeegee. So use a combination of your hand and the squeegee because you don't want to leave air gap up here on this body line. And I'll add, there's this big air bubble here. You want to go down with this and squeegee down. You don't want to try and squeegee this up. You can force it to go up like how I just did there, but this is a hard body line that has some tension on it. And you could create trapped bubbles or trapped air. You don't want that. So I am pressing kind of firm with my squeegee. Don't be scared to press hard with it. If there's any micro marring that you could be causing from the squeegee in the film, it's a non-issue. Once you put some hot water or a heat gun or steamer or just pull it out in the sun, it's going to go away 100%. So let's finish getting this stuff here down. Here we go. All this right here, I want this here to go ahead and tack on down. So let's spray our hot tap water in here. Not a lot, just need a little bit to rinse out my slip solution. Release some of that tension there. There we go. Perfect. I'll come back later and I will address this right here. This here is a non-issue. All of that's causing this is, of course, the change of body panels here. And the bumper is a little bit higher than the fender, so that's why you have this here going on. So it's no problem. If I can take my squeegee and do that right there and it'll lay down, again, it's no problem. Just needs to dry out a little bit. Or we might could speed it up with some hot water or the steam machine. But let's not worry about that right now. We got this whole panel we got to go ahead and get done. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these bubbles out. I'm not going to fight gravity. I'm just going to go down to move everything down. This right here, don't worry about that. That's going to go away once we cut out the gas tank lid. That's going to lay right on down. So don't worry about that right now. So you'll notice the film is lifted up right here. That's because there's tension right here. So just like we did before, the best way to fix that is to make a relief cut. So first, let's cut some of this excess off. There's a lot of excess film over here. Let's get that out of our way. There we go. There we go. Don't cut the car. This is a very expensive car. Don't cut it. Take your blade. You don't need it out like this. About one click. That's all you need. I'm just going to come in here. You could start here. That's fine too, because you got a little bit more control. You can lift the film up and then cut. You see how I'm just lifting the film off the car? And I'm just kind of cutting in the air. That's all you want. You see that one click? Make sure you have a fresh, sharp blade. And it's just going to cut it so easy, just like butter. So I'm going to stop it about right here. Just like before, I'm going to make my little bit of a U-cut. There we go. So what I've also done here is I've created an opening to spray some more slip solution back here so this big part of the film can glide and move on down without any dry areas. Okay, let's kind of pull it on down. There we go. So you see this, the film is already tacked right here, and you see this finger doesn't want to go down. So we're going to have to go rescue it. All I'm going to do is just kind of lift the film up. I'm not going to put my hand up here. Try not to put your hand in here because you risk introducing contamination. I'm going to kind of grab here and lift up. There we go. Perfect. You don't need a lot of solution, just enough to wet it, just so it can move. You see how I just moved? Super easy. Let's come on down. Use your hand to bring this on down. Look at how pretty that is. Before I go and do too much squeegeeing here, we need to address these fingers. You don't want these fingers to be here. First thing let's do, let's cut out some of this excess. Don't cut the wheel. They're also equally as expensive. There we go. That's enough to have this relief cut, if you will, so that whenever we pull, it's not going to interfere with that too much. So again, the film is talking to me. It's telling me that there's excess film here. That's what these fingers are. There's excess film. I can pull this way. These fingers are gone. Now I got fingers here. But you know, if we pull it down this way, now we got all these fingers. So what we're going to have to do is stretch it diagonally. So what I'm going to do is just spray a little bit of slip solution. Actually, that's a little bit more than what I wanted, but it'll be okay. And gently, I'm going to pull kind of diagonally. Got that? I'm going to kind of pull down right there. Now I got to grab my squeegee. I'm going to squeegee this body line like that. I'm going to try and tack this film on this bumper. I think what I'm going to do, just so I can make it tack, I'm going to spray some plain hot tap water right here to make it stick. Rinse out my slip solution. There we go. Easy peasy. Now I'm gonna come right here and squeeze that on down. There you go. Once we come in here and cut this, this little air bubble, moisture bubble right here will go away. So I'm just doing a little bit more squeegeeing, making sure I have all my solution out. There we go. Notice we haven't introduced steam at all. You can do it, and it would have made that stretch a little bit easier. Steam or hot water would have done that, but I'm just showing you that at least with CCC, next gen PPF, you don't always need steam. It's very stretchy, and it'll go exactly where you want it to go. You just have to know how to read the film. So my film's trying to pull back a little bit right here because of the tension. I'm just going to go ahead and relieve that. There we go. Make that cut, and this lays down, and this whole section is independent of the rest of it here. I'm going to try and go ahead and lock this part down. I'm going to spray a little bit of water up in there. Take my squeegee and squeegee it down. Lays down perfect. Again, the adhesive in the CCC Next Gen PPF is like a sponge. The more solution you throw it behind it or into the film, that adhesive is going to absorb it. So you don't need a lot of slip solution. You just need enough to let the film glide across the panel so that it doesn't stick. That's all you want. Anything more than that, it's going to cause you, if I would have made a very concentrated soapy slip solution and had it back here, this might not lay down as pretty as it is so far because there's so much soap behind it, and the soap takes longer than the water to dry out. So also, if you spray too much, like maybe you have the proper concentration or ratio of your slip solution, and you have the keg spray, and you see her spraying, and you have a whole lake right here. First of all, I'd be wet, like I'd be swimming, bring my swim trunks to do this. But that's so much solution that the adhesive is absorbing. So it's really important that you pay attention to how much you spray in the film. Okay, so let's get back to this. So it looks like we got a mess here. We really don't. We just need to lift this back right here, because remember I said this was independent of the rest of it now because we made this relief cut. So I'm just going to pull it back. I'm going to spray some slip solution back here. And I'm going to spray it on the surface. Now you can spray as much of it on the surface as you want. It's what you spray between the body and the film that really matters. And I'm just going to use the best tools in the toolbox, my hands. I'm just going to use it to kind of glide this film down. So what's happening here, you might be wondering why this keeps happening. That's because of this ridge right here. I personally, in the moment, I'm not quite ready to cut that. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and make it tack. Let's see what happens. Again, that's just plain hot water. There we go. So we got these little wrinkles here. I'm pulling this down to get it out. You see how they just kind of go away for the most part. Sorry about that cut, guys. Phone rang. I had to sell another PPF job. But we're back. Let's get back to the Corvette. So again, we got around the bend. We worked out these fingers here because we stretched it. Now, again, we got this finger here, so we need to pull that way or this way. But we can't go that way, so we got to go towards the bottom here. So let's work this out. Just use your hand. And just get all that squeegeed. There we go. grab my knife, and I'm going to cut just a little bit more excess off that's over here. It's just not needed. Grabbing my tack solution here, and I'm just going to lightly tack it kind of off the panel for right now. And just putting some tension on it. I'm just going to tack it here for right now. I want to go ahead and let's address this. I'm going to have to switch positions here. Okay, so again, the film is going to talk to you. This panel kind of concaves inward. So I'm just going to put a tad of slip solution right there. And I'm just going to use my hand to glide it down. There we go. Then just take your squeegee. There we go. So you see this here is being caused by tension. So what we can do here is come in here and make a few relief cuts. Now this would be okay to just leave these lines like this because I'm not pulling on this film anymore. If I was going to be pulling, I'd go ahead and round it off. You know what? I'll just do it anyway. Let's just go ahead and round that off. There we go. And you see that this will want to lay down a lot better. We'll spray a little bit of our hot water here for tack. And it's down. Let's go ahead and cut the rest of this excess off. There we go. So we have to address this Z06 logo right here. So the best way to do this is I'm probably going to, well, let's just try and lay it down like this. Probably going to have to put some tack in here to kind of force this film to stick. I'm going to make a cut around it and maneuver the film as I cut. So let me show you. I'm just kind of getting any lint off my fingers. Put that sniper nozzle on. Shoot someone from across the shop with that. And I'm just shooting some water up in there. And you see, I spray that tack solution here, and now the film wants to stick. I kind of go out there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and trim the film around the Z06 logo. Make sure you have a fresh blade. Let's see. There we go. So there's no tension here on the sides from me pushing the film down, and the film is laid flat right there. So I'm going to get as close as I can to it, and I'm just going to make a cut. And you may or may not be able to hear the squeaking of the blade in the mic. The sound of the squeak is good. That means that you're just scoring the top layer of the film. There we go. So let's see. There we go. I just use my finger to grab on the line where I cut at, and very gently and slowly, I'm just going to pull the film. Okay, so it looks like I didn't make my connection here. Maybe I didn't cut it deep enough. There we go. Okay. Now I'm just going to squeegee the film down right there, and I have the relief from the top. So we kind of need to go ahead down on this side too. And I'm going to make my cut. There we go. So now I'm going to come back in here with my slip solution, spray a little bit there, and let's squeegee this down. Let's make it tack. Spray our tack solution, which is just, again, just plain hot water. There we go. So the film's kind of stuck. We're just going to lift it up a little bit. There we go. I'm going to spray my tack up here. Let's just see if we can go ahead and just get this to stick. There we go, just like that. You want to be eye level whenever you go to cut, so you can see what you're doing. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this part here on down. That's just my tack solution that I'm spraying. Just to relieve a little bit of tension, I'm just going to come here and make a relief cut. Cool. All right, let's come over here and get a better angle. Okay, so let's just kind of lift the film a little bit to see where we're at. I'm going to spray my hands, make sure that there's no lint and dust on it. So I got to come in here and get a little close to the film to put it in place. So I still need to make this cut here to finish this out. Okay. Right now I'm just kind of cutting in the air. I'm not even on the paint. There we go. This should look good. There we go. Just like that. Great. We're going to pick it back up just a little bit. Sorry, it's my wrong bottle. I'm spraying a little bit of slip on the end here, but close to the badge, the Z06 badge, I'm spraying my tack. And I'm just going to put it in position. About right there. There we go. Get all that moisture out. Cool. Let's spray our tack up under here. Make this area stick. Let's come back up a little bit here. So this is where I'm going to introduce some steam because I'm running into a few fingers here. and I just need to stretch the film a little bit. You can do the same thing with hot water. Let's just pull it back here, about even with this. Let's put some steam on it. Okay. This should be able to stick and stretch exactly where I want it to from here. I'll put a little bit more here. Oh, there we go. All right. And that is how you do a custom cut and fit of PPF on this panel. So what's left to do now is just kind of go around, cut off some excess. I believe we can actually start near the top where we started at and start making our trim. The film was not flooded with a lot of slip solution. The ratios were very dialed in. So I think that the film is pretty much tacked and it's safe to go ahead and start cutting. So let's go ahead and start making our trims. So before we start doing our trim, it's really important, and I didn't mention this earlier, but you kind of need to look at what you've already squeegeed. Right now there's a lot of dried slip solution and dried water on the surface and just squeegee strokes and stuff. Sometimes you can't really truly see what the film looks like. So what I have in my hand is CCC Next Gen Blitz microfiber towels. So I'm just going to use this, spray a little bit of slip solution on my towel. You can just use water or alcohol, whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to basically dry off the surface and get any streaks off of it, so I can make sure that there's no moisture bubbles, no big patches of missed solution that I missed when squeegeeing. I just want to make sure everything is looking as it should. So far, everything looks pretty minty. Yes, sir. That looks great. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our cuts. So a couple of tools that I'm going to use here is going to be my hard card with the felt lining on it and a OFA blade. Personally, I like to use carbon blades. Some people like stainless steel. Some more advanced installers like to use surgical scalpels. They work great too, super sharp, don't cut yourself. Personal preference, but for me, I like to use the carbon OFA blades. So let's go ahead and start up here where we originally started at. So I'm just going to take my hard card and just kind of make sure that the edges are locked down. I'm just going to do these cuts a little bit closer here. I'll make more precise cuts in a moment. Right now I'm just trying to get all this excess off. So what I'm going to do right now is be a little bit more precise with my cuts because I want to have wrapped edges. And I'd say this might be, I'm not good with measurements here. It's less than a 1/4 inch, was it 1/8 of an inch maybe, but I'm leaving that excess as an overhang because this is what I want to use to wrap my edges to make it look like a seamless install. I'm cutting in the air, I'm not cutting on the paint here. You don't want to go fast on this, you just kind of want to take your time, make sure your cut is even as possible. Working small sections at a time, about shoulder length, and then just reposition and keep going. So I need to readjust my blade here. Okay, come here. Okay guys, so right here, you know, we need to address the corner here. So this is how you would want to wrap this corner. What I would do, I would come on this side of the bend, and I'm going to cut that like that. And I'll do the same thing right here on this side of the bend. Kind of close to the corner as you can. Now, you see where I got my two cuts. I'm going to lift up the film just ever so slightly. I'm going to use this blade to make that connection. There you go. And it should lay down. Now you see this film will lay on that side, and this film will lay up here on that side. And we're going to do that with all the corners. Let's just say we wrap this and wrap this. You're going to have like a little triangle right here. So it's just excess film that needs to be removed. So we're going to come in here on this side of the bend and on this side of the bend. I'm going to grab it. If you have tweezers, that works too. I actually don't have tweezers. There we go. Just do that. It's going to lay down a lot easier. And we're just going to go around and do that to all the corners and trim all of our edges like how we have done here. So I need to remove this tension here. And I'm going to try my hardest to kind of cut in the air. Just like that. All right. Then I'm just going to reposition where I'm comfortable. You're just going to ride the edge of the accent piece with your blade. There you go. And we can kind of do the same over here, but we'll come back to it. And about the same here. Now we're going to go ahead and cut out the gas tank lid. And if you remember earlier in the video, there was an air bubble here. It's already laid down. Once the solution kind of dries out, it'll lay on down. So let's go ahead and get this cut made. I'm going to cut kind of closer to the gas tank lid. If it makes sense, kind of basically poke it. And I'm going to ride the back of the blade on the gas tank lid. I'm not digging into the gas tank lid. I'm cutting away and just resting the back of the blade on the gas tank lid. Now, the gas tank lid is already has PPF on it. If it did not, you could have just left this on there, open up the gas tank lid, and took care of this there and just kind of saved you a piece. But the gas tank lid actually already has it on there. So now we're just going to kind of take our squeegee and try and wrap it in. We want the film to be a little bit more relaxed than what it is. So now is when we would go ahead and bring in some extra tools. So I got different tools here. We have the hard card with the felt lining on it. We got the steamer. And I just picked a couple of these different tools out of my kit. You can get these on Amazon. I don't really know what they're called. They're real popular in the vinyl wrapping industry. But I'm sure if you just Google or Amazon the vinyl wrapping tools, you'll find these. Basically, they're like tuck tools. So for right now, what I'm going to do is steam this to relax the film. And I want the film to kind of fall back behind the gas tank lid. So let me try my hard card first. So far, that's actually working. Right now, I just want it behind the gas tank lid so that I can actually open it. Okay. That's good. Now we can open it, and now we can address the rest. Let's not forget the best tools in the toolbox, your hand. Let's steam it up. Another thing you can use, because I know that there's still some water in here, grab your microfiber towel. These are the CCC Blitz towels that we were using before. We're just going to take this. I'm going to use this finger to lay it down, and I'm going to follow behind it with this microfiber towel, and that's going to dry up any water. And it should lay the film down just like that. So you see it still kind of wanting to come up a little bit. That's because there is moisture behind it. Once it fully dries, that will lay on down. Another thing you can do is take your tool and the towel. Paper towel works as well, and just do that right there. Boom. Looks beautiful. Gas tank's looking beautiful, and it is ready to rock and roll. That's laid down. Now, of course, we'll do this whenever we get finished wrapping all of our edges, but we're going to do a post-heat session with the heat gun. So we're going to take the heat gun around all the edges, make sure the adhesive is activated, make sure there's no moisture on the edge work so that the film will grab onto it and go ahead and start bonding and curing. So less likely for it to lift. I just had a phone call from the owner of the car. He would love to have it back today. Thanks to CCC Next Gen, that is possible because of the glue, the adhesive in the film. It's super strong. This film is actually tacked down pretty hard right now, and because I didn't flood the adhesive with a bunch of water or soap, the edges are wrapping down or laying down perfectly now. I actually think I'll have it ready within the next hour and a half for pickup. So let's get back to it. So we're just warming up the edges with the steam just so it will lay down. It will want to relax and just lay down into the curves and the edge here. Take the film, use my finger, push that air bubble out. I'm just going to use my hand to start tacking the edge work. We're just going to take our thumbs and just kind of work the film down over this edge, just like that. Sometimes, guys, don't rush the PPF. You know, if there's moisture behind it, then you know you kind of gotta watch water dry. You can use a heat gun if you want to speed it up. Just be careful not to burn the film whenever you do that. But you know, as we go around and we're wrapping edges, some areas still have moisture behind it. Just like this right here still has some moisture behind it. So at this point, it's just kind of a waiting game. But give it, you know, maybe an hour, and it'll be dry. Something else I just thought about, compressed air. If you have compressed air, you shoot some air back there and dry that water out. So I might actually do that here in just a minute. Just tucking our edges back here so that it's going to give that seamless look. Okay guys, so we're back and we have already wrapped all of our edges and it looks phenomenal. The customer will be able to pick up their car same day. So what we're going to do now is take a heat gun and we're going to post heat our edges to make sure that everything is tacked down correctly. So for this, of course, you need a heat gun. Doesn't really matter the name brand or what kind you get. Got this from the local hardware store. And this is one of the those heat resistant gloves so you don't burn your finger. It's nice to have this so you don't burn your fingers. So here we go. We're just going to post heat our edges. And then you can just use your gloved hand or gloved fingers just to make sure that everything's laying down smooth, exactly the way you want it. Whenever I post heat my edges, I do kind of move slow. I want to make sure I get everything really warm. A lot of times if there's going to be an issue with the film with it pulling back, right now is when it's going to happen. But on this install, everything was completely relaxed. There's no fingers, there's no tension. The film is fully relaxed on the panel, which means we're not going to have an issue and we're going to have a happy customer. Guys, we have it, a fully finished tucked, wrapped, heat sealed, perfect install of CCC Next Gen PPF on this beautiful C8 Z06 Corvette. The very last thing to do is to just do a final wipe on the panel just to make sure that we don't leave fingerprints on it for whenever the customer comes to pick it up. So all we're going to do is we're going to take a detail spray, mist it into our towel, and we're just going to go through and just wipe the panel down. Well guys, that's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.